everyone. I hope you guys had a good day today. We're getting to the end of our day here, our first day back after spring break, and oh, the dog's bumping everything, sorry. Um, Anyways, I am very happy to be back onto our schedule, and the kids are happy to be back on schedule too. Several of them mentioned today that they're really happy that we're back to normal again, and I'm going to talk about our schedule a little bit more when I'm done with some other things, but I will start today with, actually I'm going to go ahead and, what am I going to do? Yeah, I'm going to start today. I have a little tiny load of laundry here, but it's not going to take me very long. I always have big loads at the beginning of the week and then small ones at the end of the week because I don't do laundry over the weekend, so it all piles up for 2 days, but I don't have much to fold today. So anyways, I wanted to mention a few things that I forgot yesterday when I was talking about our grocery shopping budget. I remembered the thing I forgot was of orders. It wasn't actually ordering like online or whatever. It was that I get milk from 2 different places, and that's not part of my budget, so I didn't even think about that when I was doing it. But we go through about a gallon of milk a day, so we normally buy our milk at a grocery store in the next town over because we can get it cheaper over there. So every other Friday, Tom goes in and gets, he used to get 14 gallons every 2 weeks, and I am able to arrange the refrigerator to hold it all. But lately, we've been getting milk from a friend that lives out of town, and she's got a milk cow. So we've been getting a couple of gallons from her every time she comes around. So once or twice we get a couple of gallons from her, and then Tom's been getting less at the grocery store because since the milk we get from her is raw milk, I'm always not sure how much I can take at one time, and we get it drank up before it starts to go bad. So I don't like to take more than a few gallons at a time from her. So we still get milk from the store to fill in the meantime. And then when she comes in, I have her bring me a couple of gallons, and so we kind of are doing both. And so she, I think she charges $4 a gallon for her milk that I get from her, and we also get cream from her sometimes, and buttermilk and eggs from her. So that would be probably, I'm going to say, around $50 a month that we spend with her. And then I don't even know what Tom spends at the grocery store when he gets the milk over, and when he does the shopping. He also gets cereal there sometimes too. So that's however much that is. I don't know, maybe another $50 or $60 every 2 weeks. So see, it's adding up now. All these things I forgot about. And one other thing I forgot about too is that Thomas, our oldest son, who's 14, buys all the bread with his own money. So we pay him to work in our office. So it used to be that we have a little store in our basement where Tom runs his business from, and so I used to help customers who would come in while he was gone, because he leaves 4 days a week. He's out on appointments, and he's home on Wednesdays, which is then when I am free to go, and we do our library trip, and if we have a field trip or whatever, we do all that stuff on Wednesdays. But so the rest of the week while he's gone, I would help customers, when they drop stuff off or they want to buy something. And it was difficult sometimes because I'd be in the middle of reading to the kids or something, and a customer would come in, and sometimes it got really crazy. So now that Thomas is a little older, Tom has taught him how to help customers, and he actually stays in his office during the day, and that's where he does his schoolwork. Silly dog. Anyways, so we pay him just $1 an hour is all to work down there, because he's still doing school and all those other things. And then even when he gets done with schoolwork, he's free to leave the office, but he just has to listen for the bell, and if a customer comes in, then he goes and helps them. So we pay him to do that. And then one of the things that we really hope to instill in our kids, along with that I already told you yesterday how they do their own shopping and things like that for their own needs, but we want them to get in the habit of viewing their finances in terms of family, and not being like Tom says he was with his own money when he was growing up, that all the money he made was just for himself and whatever fun he wanted to spend it on, and that was a hard idea to break when he became older and got married. So we want the kids to learn to think in terms of family, and so we have Thomas buy our bread, and probably when Asher's old enough to take over Thomas's job and we have Thomas doing more of the actual computer repairs and things like that, we'll probably move him into maybe paying an actual bill, like I don't know, like our gas bill's only like $25 a month usually, so something like that is on an atrociously big bill, but something that he would have to help to contribute with the family finances, not because we need it, but because we want to train him in the habit of thinking that way. So every Thursday when we go grocery shopping, Thomas buys all of the bread that we need, and so he spends probably, I don't know, $8 or $10 a week on the bread. So that's an additional grocery charge that I hadn't thought of yesterday when I was talking about everything with you guys. So I wanted to tell you about that part too. So that brings us up more in the range of like, what, $1,050 or $1,100 a month, maybe somewhere in there on groceries. So somewhere in the neighborhood of $100 per person. That might be a good way of thinking of it. So also today, since it was our first day back, we are starting to think about all of our outdoor projects that we want to do. So I'll show you. We went around the yard today and we made a list here of all the jobs that we want to get done out in the yard. If even a quarter of that actually happens, that would be great. I doubt we even get that far, but we'll see how that goes. But we just walked around the yard and listed everything that we could think of that needs to be done. And then I marked it down with either an M for maintenance or P for progress. So I'm going to actually type up the list and kind of categorize things and decide what's the most important and that kind of thing, so that the kids and I can start working on those things in the afternoons when we're outside. So that was nice to feel like we're starting to get things moving out there. The kids were all fired up and they each have their own little garden, and they were trying to pull out grass and get it all ready. Judah thought he was going to start planting first thing today, and I had to point out that some of the things he wants to plant can't be planted for a while because it still might freeze, so he's going to have to be patient a little longer. But they were very excited about that, and we did get our little kiwi plants out there we planted today, and one's a male plant and one's a female plant. So they named the male plant Abraham and named the female plant Lisa. I have no idea why those are the two names they picked, but that's what they chose. So Abraham and Lisa are planted, and we'll see if they actually survive here. I hope they do, because it'd be lots of fun to have our own kiwis. So we'll just have to see how that goes. Let's see. I'm looking at my list of things to talk about. Oh, the other thing besides talking about the schedule was just that we spent some time out this evening. I taught the kids how to find the North Star, so they're pretty excited about that. Thomas is sure now that he can get lost anywhere in the world and he will be able to find his way home, because he now knows where the North Star is. So that was pretty funny. So about schedules, I'll share with you what our schedule is and how it changes. I got somebody sneaking in over there. He's gonna hide. Anyways, my schedule changes all the time because I get bored doing the same things all the time. So we actually are on a new spring schedule just now, coming back after the spring break. So it's similar to what we were already doing. It's almost the exact same thing, but I like to just change things a little bit from time to time because I get bored having things always the same, and also things just naturally change as time goes on. You just naturally start doing things a little differently, and so I adjust what the schedule is. So my goal was to get up at 7 in the morning and get chores done first thing, but that does not ever happen because we are night owls, and I'm lucky if I'm ready by 9 in the morning, not 7. So usually we actually all of us are up and around 9 o'clock, and Asher and Judah always get up a lot earlier than that because they have this little pact with each other that they, whichever one wakes up first wakes the other one up, because they want to be the first ones done with their schoolwork. So they go ahead and get up and get dressed and comb their hair and all that, and then they get started on their schoolwork before the rest of us are up usually. So they're doing that. But then at 9 o'clock we get dressed. If somebody's not dressed, we get the little guys dressed, get everybody's hair combed, get breakfast done, and get chores done. And if they aren't too bad, it doesn't take us that long. So the goal is to try to be ready to start school by 10 o'clock, and usually that happens. So then from 10 to 12:30 is the time that I set aside for doing actual schoolwork. So we use ACE Paces, so the kids work on their schoolwork, and then I help whoever needs help during that time. And all of them except for Thomas are usually done in that 2.5 hour period. In fact, like today, Eden was done. It took her about 45 minutes to get her work done today, and I think Asher and Judah were done by like 11:15 today, and Justice was about 11:30, and I'm not sure what time Thomas finished. But Thomas has always been a slowpoke, even when he was little. He's just like does not work fast, and so he's kind of does his own thing apart from the rest of us, since he's also working down in Tom's office, and I kind of let him just go at his own pace and do what he's doing down there separate from the rest of us. So we try to be done by 12:30, and also during that time is when I work on my own Greek lessons, and I do like scoring tests and things like that need to be done. And then I usually run to the post office at some point during there and try to get lunch started before we actually sit down at 12:30 to eat. Sometimes that doesn't happen. This is all very loose. This is just loosely how we do things. So that's the goal. Not always reached, but so then from 12:30 to 1 it's lunchtime. So everybody sits down and eats their lunch, and we clean up after lunch. I don't usually do the dishes. We just put them in the sink and put up the stools and things from the kitchen table and tidy up before we head out. So then from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock is adventure time, I call it, and really it's basically taking a walk, but if I call it adventure time, the kids are a lot more excited about it. So we go out and we might walk to one of the parks or just walk around and we explore the alleys, and I like to think of things for us to look at. So we're learning all the trees, how to identify them in the wintertime, which I'm learning this too, so this is, I don't know these things either, so we're learning together, and so we're learning how to identify what they look like when there's no leaves on them. So we walk around, and as we're walking, we point out, oh, what kind of a tree is that? And that makes it kind of fun. We also we practice directions. So one of the games I like to play is at each corner somebody gets to pick a direction, and we walk in that direction. And so I only give them one shot, so they have to, once they've set a direction, they don't get to change their mind. So they have to, if they won't know which way they want to go, they have to know what the name of that direction is. Otherwise, sometimes we end up backtracking or going the way they didn't want to go, and it makes it kind of a fun game to play. So, so basically, that's what adventure time is just getting out, or sometimes we just stay home and play in the yard, or get out some of the. I got somebody crying in there. We'll get out some of the like balls, like footballs or whatever, or soccer balls, and play in the yard too. So that's adventure time. He's mean. It's okay, go lay down. Is Solly being mean? Anyways, then from 2 to 3 is reading time, and so that's just when the kids, they'll do their literature books or their classics that they're reading, and then their library books or whatever. And I like to do that after adventure time because everybody's kind of tired when we get back from our adventure. So then it's nice to sit down somewhere and then we read for a while. And one of the changes I made is for spring is I want to stay outside. So we're hopefully, as long as the weather is nice, we're going to actually take our books and things and go find a comfy spot outside to do our reading. and then at 3 o'clock we have 3 o'clock snack time, we call it. So everybody has a snack, and then after that, from whenever we're done with our snack till 5 o'clock is creativity time, I call it. And so that's when we might work on an art project or work on our nature notebooks, or like now we're going to start working out in the garden and just doing some outdoor projects and things like that. So it's just kind of creative stuff. I really enjoy being creative, and so it was important to me to have time every day if I could to work on those kind of creative projects. And if the weather is bad, then we'll stay inside, and maybe I'll work on some of my sewing projects or something. Or sometimes we just take the afternoon off and the kids go play, and I do whatever I need to do. And as I said, we're very loose with the schedule. So then from 5 to 6, I call it the get it together hour, and that's when a lot of times I spend the time talking with Tom because he's just gotten home, and we kind of catch up with each other, and we get supper going and kind of tidy things up, and then we have supper from 6 on. Did you find that? Thank you. That's yucky. Yeah. Come here. You want to say hi to everybody? You want to say hi? You want to say hi? Oh, you're going to knock it down. Okay, listen. You need to go home and get into bed, okay? Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. All right, you go on. Sally, you need to go back and get in bed, buddy. Yeah, you. No, not Asher's bed. You go get in your bed. So in the evenings on Mondays, I am gonna start trying to go over to see my grandma on Mondays. Right now, I don't really have any concrete plans for Monday evenings. On Tuesdays. What is Tuesday? Oh, it's game night. Tuesday is game night, so we always play a game with the kids, and then whoever wins gets a prize. Wednesdays, we used to do Greek lessons with the kids on Wednesday, but we kind of have fallen away from doing that, and they've been doing more stuff on their own. So, we don't really have something on Wednesday, except for the boys take showers on Wednesday nights. So Wednesday shower night for the older boys. Thursday we call it Naruto night because we watch Japanese anime cartoon called Naruto, and Tom always makes pizza on Thursday, and we watch Naruto, so we call it Naruto night. And then on Fridays, that's when the little guys have their baths, and Tom and Thomas are gone Friday nights because they go play Magic with their buddies, and I usually hang out at home and don't do anything important at all. It's like my night off, I guess. And then, of course, Saturdays we usually spend on projects around the house together, and Sunday's church day. So, I guess that's it in a nutshell. But so some of the changes from winter till spring were that we're just trying to do more of the activities actually outside instead of inside like we did in the winter. In the summer, we'll completely change things to try to be outside first thing in the morning and then later in the evening, so we can spend the daytime hours when it's hot inside. And so we'll kind of shift around when we do our chores and things like that. So that's kind of that's my general plan. But as I said, all of this is extremely loose, and you never know how things are actually going to go. Wednesdays are also different because Wednesday we have library in the morning. So usually the older boys just want to stay home and they don't go to the library with me unless they need to check out new books. But the little guys and I will go to the library, and the big boys will stay home and work on their schoolwork. And then for the rest of the day, I have I do the paperwork 2 days a month, and one of those days will be my shopping day, and one of them I try to take the kids on some sort of a field trip, and then it's just a different day. So the other thing I was going to say was Thursdays are also my shopping day. So while Tom's at home on Thursdays making the pizza, we go do our grocery shopping, and then by the time he's done with pizza, we're home with the groceries and we put them all away. So I guess that kind of tells you how things go. So anyways, I appreciate you, Chrissy, for asking me so many questions and giving me something to talk about. And if you enjoy listening to this, I hope that you will like the video and subscribe if you enjoy listening to me ramble on and on about our life. So thank you again for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.